Hi folks, I'm Pamela Young and this is Thrive 2030, brought to you by growthcurv. And today I have Sue Kench, who is the Global Chief Executive of the international law firm Mallesons.
Yeah, I don't think anyone quite comprehended how significant and permanent this would be. Yeah. As I say, SARS was months. Everyone was, quite nervous, and it took a while to readjust after SARS. But SARS did not have that global reach. And amazing, right? That's nearly 20 years ago.
With the GFC and the Wall Street crash, those big economic financial disasters, there was a different reaction, obviously, because they were financial catastrophes, and there were quite a lot of demergers, and insolvency rose through the roof. Are you seeing that same reaction and response? Is that what people are doing?
Well, it's fascinating, isn't it? So, of course, when all of this happened, it was unprecedented. We had not had this across the world. You had the two big economies, China in that first quarter of the calendar year in lockdown. You had a virus spreading at incredible rates with the US and Europe, and nobody knew. And anyone who said, oh yes, well, we've got this, we know what's going to happen, nobody knew. So you had this incredible feeling of uncertainty and what is happening next. But of course, remembering that, as you say, the GFC was a financial crisis. Things were not well in so many organisations and banks, etc. But this was a health crisis. But would a health crisis lead to a financial crisis? And how long was it going to last?
You sit on, you're a member of a number of organisations where think tank conversations occur, like the BCA, Business Council of Australia, AustraliaChina in Beijing, and Wall Street Journal Council. So when you are with those groups of people, having a conversation about, what the regional impact is, or what you need to do as a nation or as a region, what are the topics of conversation? What's the tone and the flavour of those conversations?
It's moved from those early days of uncertainty into, gradually that fog of where are things going is starting to lift, maybe. Although, of course, a bit disappointing that Sydney's now in lockdown again, might shake some confidence. But people were starting to get their confidence back. You've got the two major economies in China and the US coming back. That stabilises confidence and grows it as well. Interesting with what's happening in Europe now and the UK, as particularly the UK, comes out of their restrictions. That will be interesting to watch. The conversation now is, all right, well, it's all very well to have lockdown and closed borders, but as different strategies are now emerging on how do countries come out of this, and some are, a handful, of course, are coming out of the other side, being quite brave, I guess, about number of cases on the rise and hospitalisations. But that's the conversation now, is how do you come out of it, keep a sense of safety, keep that confidence.
It would be remiss of me not to ask about the Australia-China relationship, I think, because, you're an international firm that came about by a merger of, two great firms in those two locations. And I'm just wondering if you could just share your view about how the conversations between the governments has made it easier, harder, how it has impacted businesses like yourselves.
Australia has thrived off the back of globalisation, and it must remind itself of that often and get out into that mix. How do you put the two together? It's such a shame, two countries who have actually, when we talk about reciprocity, have benefited so much from the other. That I would say both need to be mindful of how they send messages to each other, how they receive the messages of the other. We talk about mindfulness often. I do hope that they both move to a better place, because I think there are many advantages and many opportunities and so many common interests across the two countries.
Cool.